Etsy news. Did Etsy wreck some people's listings? How good was Etsy up? All that and more in today's Etsy news. So let's get right into it. So, firstly, a little new one on me. I started making some different items in my shop and I included neodymium magnets. Try saying that 5 times fast or 1 time fast. And interestingly, when I was looking on Etsy at my listings, I saw a little disclaimer at the bottom. Very cool, actually, just warning about high powered magnets. So it was a prompt to me to put into my description how I'm making sure my item is safe and complying with the laws for using small and dangerous magnets, as it were. So I haven't seen this kind of disclaimer below a listing before. I guess I've probably not scrolled down to the bottom of all listings very often. But let me know if you've seen any other disclaimers below yours or anyone's listings, and let's see what Etsy's warning customers about, which is a good thing. Sophie from the E-Rank team spotted this one, a nice addition to search. She'd searched for Alice in Wonderland, and you got a section now asking you to, if you want to narrow down your search. You get the normal search results below this, but narrow down your search to home decor, gardening, furniture, lighting, or storage organizations. And I had a look for some other things, and if you kind of put in things that can be styles like cottagecore, then it's coming up with suggestions to narrow down your search. So I found this really interesting because then, if you sell women's clothing, this is a cool thing if it's in the style of cottagecore. If people search for cottagecore, it's saying, look, we have stuff that you might like in this section to the customers. So this might be a good one. If you type in your style, look at what's been offered. If this is the same every time, it has been so far, but if this is the same every time, it might help you narrow down the idea of what some of your keywords are, or some of the items you might use. Yeah, I just found it interesting. Let me know. I'm asking you to do my research for me. This is cool. But let me know what other terms have brought up in search and narrow down your search section, and I'll go and explore them, deep dive them. This week's festive hub has been updated. If you haven't seen, every week Etsy's doing a kind of festive hub, getting yourself and your shop ready for Christmas. I think this is a good idea, although they haven't put any groundbreaking advice, but it's kind of cool. So, sell to every type of gifter. They are saying diversify to all types of gift givers. So, yeah, good idea. Definitely, we know Etsy's going to be pushing gifting, gift mode, and all that. So, look at your ideas for how you can make your shop more appealing as a gift shop. Take action. Etsy Insider. You can partner with Etsy to join the Etsy Insider. I signed up for that, but I haven't heard anything. But as we'll find out, you don't necessarily always hear from Etsy. Attend Etsy Up on the 10th of September. There's another one this week, but we're going to talk about the Etsy Up that I did attend. So interesting. And stay informed, meet the Design Award finalists so you can have a look at who's been picked so far. And I think we can vote on the people's choice or something. So, yep. And find ways to stand up. Have a look. Have a look at the ideas to improve your chance of being spotted by Etsy editors. It's good to see that and to see what they're aiming for, but don't be thinking that your shop strategy should basically be trying to get featured by Etsy. It's very unlikely. It's fantastic when it happens, but yeah, that shouldn't be your shop strategy. But look at what they like and see how you can fit into that. So I did mention we were going to talk about Etsy Up, and for me, it really failed to deliver. We were promised a whole load of things, and I did think they were promising we were going to hear about an awful lot in this hour-long webinar, which it wasn't a webinar, it was a premiere of a pre-recorded video, which isn't a bad thing because last year's Etsy Up had so many technical issues, it was practically impossible to watch live. So this time it was going to be absolutely fine to be able to watch, and because it was a premiere, there was chat, so you were able to chat, although it was going far too fast because a lot of people were watching. But they were able to put polls in, and the first one, hilariously, they asked, what are you most excited to hear about today? Because basically what they were talking about, optimizing your shop, customer service tips, the design award finalists, and Etsy holiday trends. So that's 4 categories there. And 74% of people were there and watching to learn about optimizing your shop. This was a section by Maxwell Tang, Senior Director of Product Management, Search and Ads, Etsy. So he's the person that put in his team did the new Etsy shop visibility page and all the new changes to Etsy search, as it were. So 74% of people were interested in this. So in an hour webinar, pre-recorded video, the section that 3/4 of people were there for, were most interested in, this section had 4 minutes, and those 4 minutes were basically directly reading out the articles that have already been put out of what this kind of thing is. So if you've read the articles yourself, if you've listened to like myself and Starla Moore, you already know all these things. It was very frustrating. I was concerned because last year they spoke a lot. They had the head of Google search on Etsy and they spoke a lot. There was questions and answers. There was some conflicting advice, but there was a lot of advice out there. This time there was nothing new. Like it failed to deliver, in my opinion. It could help people who hadn't read the articles or anything, but my feeling is there's people on Etsy who really are working hard to try and understand everything, watching tutorials, reading articles and everything. And there's people who just want to get on with their shop. Most of the people who just want to get on with their shop are the least likely to be attending something like Etsy Up. So, people are probably likely to click on an article, maybe have a wee read or something. But pretty much everybody who's attending Etsy Up will be the kind of people that's reading all the articles and trying to learn stuff anyway. So reading what we've already read a week ago is no help to anyone. That's my opinion. Let me know if you enjoyed Etsy Up. I did. I enjoyed that the Etsy Up showcased real sellers. There was features in it where they were showing a bit of a real seller, and Etsy is wanting to be about humans, the real person, you handmade it. My issue with this and all the adverts is, now, no shade to these people, they're doing wonderfully and everything, but it's an unrealistic expectation for what Etsy sellers are. We've now gone from the expectation that Etsy sellers are drop shippers from Alibaba, and we've now got Etsy sellers are people who can afford multiple tools, have fantastic, tidy, Instagrammable, beautiful workshops separate from their home. Now, I know it doesn't look so pretty, but to see that probably the vast majority of Etsy sellers are someone who is sitting on their sofa knitting, who has to clear the family dining table for 2 minutes to be able to take their photographs. We do not have that beautiful level of space. It's lovely to watch and see, but to be perfectly honest, that, yes, you could say that's an inspiration to build up to, but I bet you quite a lot of these people already had these big workshops and everything. They already had enough money to buy all of this stuff before they started on Etsy, rather than to say you can build up to this kind of a business on Etsy. Some people will, but most people won't. Etsy Etsy probably didn't pay for that kind of equipment and expertise, selling on Etsy. So, in my opinion, it's still a little unrealistic. They did have one feature where it was just a woman, just a close up of her face, talking about how she made things from vintage watercolor paper. She made little ornaments. That was cute. And yes, she could have been anywhere, she doesn't have to have had a wonderful workshop. But yeah, I get why they're doing it. It's beautiful to see that, but it's sort of, again, not realistic to what the real world is like for most of us. Um, the one takeaway I did get from the Etsy Up was they said they have expanded 24-hour support chat for all Etsy sellers in good standing, which is great. That is really cool. The problem that I've got is the in good standing bit, because the people who really, 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 really need to, it's too many reallys. The people who really need to talk to Etsy are the people that Etsy have given a strike, for example, for having their listings copied by Temu or something, and then Etsy has told us they're going to automatically flag that and the person has to appeal. But if you have a few listings taken down like that, then Etsy kind of strikes against your shop. You lose your star seller. You're no longer in good standing with Etsy. They're the people that need to be able to contact Etsy's chat. Well, okay, these are two problems. First one, very good. 24-hour support chat expanded for all sellers. That's great. The other issue, if you have a system in place that automatically flags listings that have been duplicated on dropshipping sites, then, and it's going to catch people who are not drop shipping but have had their photographs stolen on those sites, you have to have a way for people to be able to easily appeal, easily and quickly. Because if you're taking down their listings, then, especially as it starts to get a busier time of year, what happens is they're going to lose their momentum on their own best sellers, and people that have copied them or similar competition are going to be getting all the sales that they should have got. When you go, oh, sorry, here you go, they've lost a week's worth of income and they've lost all that momentum, so they'll probably get less sales. So you've probably kind of killed their momentum for the festive season. Just my opinion, but Etsy, you need to look into that. Oh yeah, this was fun. Do you remember? I made a video about this in the spring, probably. Etsy were talking about a program where they were going to experiment with your listing titles, changing how your listing titles looked like in Etsy search and Google search and all over the place. They were experimenting with ways to make your titles better. So they said they would do this, and they promised at the end of it they would give you a personalized insight into what you can do for your titles to make them better. There would be a reward for this by them helping you, and we're under the impression of them saying this is what worked for you. Now, I didn't get the invite for this, but a number of people sent me the link to the invite, so I was able to sign up. But I didn't hear anything from Etsy saying I'd been accepted or Pam's what you playing at. But this week, I got a message from Etsy. The thing is, so did everybody else who was in this program. There was no personalized advice here. This was a boilerplate standard cut and paste message to absolutely everybody. So thank you for participating. The experiment is ended and your titles have been reverted back to their original title. Now, nowhere was I able to even see what Etsy had tested with my listings. Here are some, well, I didn't know they were testing, so I didn't know to look. But anyway, here are some recommendations to help optimize your listing title to make sure they're relevant in Etsy search. Oh, exciting! Are they giving us some advice? Don't add promotional words to the listing title. Free shipping, best in the world, best price, cheap, big sale. I don't do that anyway. And this is not new news. To be included in Google Shopping, Google best practices tell you not to do that. Avoid unnecessary capital letters. Using all caps in the listing title may be blocked by Facebook and Google. Yeah, also, I don't do that, and that is best practices for Google as well. We already knew this. This is nothing new. However, my spidey senses are going, if off-site ads are costing you too much money, or you want to opt some listings out of them when Etsy doesn't let you, all caps. Don't use unnecessary special characters. Exclude words or brand names that are intellectual property of another brand, even if the intention is to negate or avoid IP related concerns. For example, this is not endorsed or affiliated by Disney. Okay, so this again is not data that they've learnt from their search. This is the law. Um, ensure you're using accurate and descriptive adjectives in your title to describe your product. Yeah, basic. Make sure you're using the most relevant description of your product. Make sure the most relevant description of your product appears in the first 75 characters of the title. You tell us this in the Ultimate Guide to Etsy search. Or, yeah, for more tips, check out Keywords 101 in the Seller Handbook. Okay, so ran the test. You told us nothing, except lots of people have been emailing me. So that was, you're invited to join. Let us optimize. So join our prototype and we'll automatically optimize your listing titles for offsite ads, SEO, and Etsy search to help boost your traffic to your listings. Lots of people have told me that their traffic absolutely dropped. We were supposed to be able to opt out of this. I never knew I was opted in, so I never saw a place to opt out of it. I'm going to give Etsy the benefit of the doubt here. My traffic is way down. People are telling me their traffic has been way down since the start of this. I would agree. My traffic has been way down since the start of this. I can't tell you if it's because of Etsy, because if it was, then people who weren't in this test would be gaining our traffic, basically. Um, yeah. Sorry, I'm not doing words very well. 55% down is terrible, but direct another traffic, that's not necessarily Etsy's playing with it. That's things that I'm sending or things that they don't understand. Is down 77%. Even social media is down. And I actually went and checked that the only reason it's not down such a big chunk is that Pinterest is doing well for me again, well, comparatively. So, yeah, that's not all Etsy is doing. Not all of this is coming from Etsy's test, but everything is down. Etsy ads are down, obviously, because I've switched them off. I'll look at switching them back on. But I can't say if this is because of the test. Now, it's stopped now. People are telling me their traffic's increased again. I definitely haven't seen that. The problem is, Etsy wants to run these tests through the summer when things are quiet, so they're not hurting your shop so much. They don't want to run tests at Christmas because that will kill people's business. So it's difficult to say, are sales down because it's a quiet time of the year? I mean, obviously, this is year on year, so it's down on last year, but are things down because things are tougher, because we know things are tougher. Etsy are even admitting that to shareholders. Things are tougher. We have too many sellers for the number of buyers. Well, the ratio is too changed. So I can't say that this drop is because of that. However, it will be interesting to see if everyone can let me know if you've suddenly seen in the past few days traffic's back to normal. If enough people have seen it that were in the test, then potentially, but definitely, Etsy, that was a bit rubbish and a bit of a disappointment. It would have been nice to know what test you'd been running and what worked for us instead of some generic. I mean, that is the worst. You told us what is already out there, what we already knew were best practices for Google, Facebook, and Etsy. You ran a test to prove that Google does what Google says it does if you use words like sale in your title. Yeah, thanks. Anyway, sorry about that. I hope that helped. Let me know what you think or if I missed anything, and I will see you next time.